Yo, what's up, my dudes? How's it going out there? We're going to talk about Wonder Woman today, the new DC Comics movie, the third movie in the DC Comics movie franchise universe after Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. It's getting pretty good reviews. Critics seem to like it. I can't figure out for the life of me why it's getting the reviews it got. I left the movie theater severely underwhelmed. Bored for the most part. That's not to say it's a terrible movie, but it's definitely got some pretty major flaws. Although I forgot about Suicide Squad. How could I ever forget about that fucking travesty of a movie? Oh my goodness. So this is the fourth movie, and it's hands down the best movie DC's made in this franchise so far, which is not a sterling endorsement of the quality of the movie because every other movie's been straight trash. This one's just mediocre. Wonder Woman, a mediocre movie. That's your tagline. Enjoy it. The pacing of the movie is flawed. The first act of the movie is the best part. It's balanced out the best. Everything more or less works. The second act is a drag. It just keeps going and nothing happens. Super boring. Oh my god. And maybe if the third act was really strong and the movie ended on a strong note, you could forgive it. Except for the third act is based around the crux of these story reveals that are like super obvious. The movie's not subtle at all in its foreshadowing. So the third act is built around the reveal of who is the primary antagonist, Ares, who they're looking for throughout the movie. Shockingly, it's exactly who you, if you've ever seen a movie, you would guess. The main villain is the obvious red herring, and there's only one other possible solution, and it's that guy. I'm shocked. What a shocking reveal. Said no one ever. And then, who would have ever surmised that Diana is actually the quote-unquote god killer, and the sword was just a fucking sword. It's not like they drop that hint a million times throughout the fucking movie. The I don't even want to call it foreshadowing because it's not that subtle. It's like fucking shaking the audience. Like, do you understand what we're trying to tell you? She is the weapon. Shh. And then at the end of the movie, you're supposed to be like, oh, I didn't know that. Wow. The movie has no respect for the intelligence of its audience. I'll say that much. So, yeah, it's rough. Let's talk about what works in the movie. There are some good parts of the movie. Like I said, the first act is great. It really helps that there's some fucking colors on Themyscira. So that's cool. Chris Pine is fantastic. He's easily the best part of the movie. Yeah, DC might have dropped the ball with that casting. Kind of a waste to have him step in as Steve Trevor for one movie. Spoilers, he seemingly dies at the end of this movie, although we don't actually see that happen. He's on a plane with some chemicals that blows up, and he shoots it, but we don't see like him getting engulfed in flames. We see the plane blow up, but that's from Wonder Woman's perspective. So obviously, if you don't see someone's actual corpse, the possibility always exists in a movie franchise that somehow they skirted death and will return. Maybe Zeus saved him. Who knows? But I would not be surprised if they try to bring him back because he is great. He's the best part of this movie. And the chemistry between him and Gal Gadot, I want to say Gal Gadot, but I'm almost positive the actual pronunciation is Gal Gadot, which sounds weird to me, but that's her name. They have great chemistry on screen. You know, not hard to believe. They're both like two of the most beautiful creatures ever created in the entirety of the universe, so that works. Yeah. Chris Pine's great. She's great sometimes. I found that, I don't know, it's kind of odd. She has great facial expressions, and she's very good at emoting, and like she kind of embodies the sense of like wonder and awe of one like this kind of fresh, naive Wonder Woman first coming out to the land of man, but she can't deliver dialogue. It's super stilted and it's really, really off-putting. And I don't think it's her accent because almost every character in this movie has an accent. Oh, Chris Pine has a terrible German accent at one point in this movie, but no, it's a minor thing. But like I said, I don't think it's Gal Gadot's accent that's the problem. I think something she just doesn't know how to deliver dialogue, which is a shame. Although, the dialogue in this movie is fucking terrible. It's like super, super sophomoric and it's really sappy. The movie's super sappy. I don't know. Enjoy it if you enjoyed it, I guess. A lot of people seem to enjoy it. My assumption, based on the reviews, is that we're looking at Phantom Menace syndrome, and all these lefty journalists, film critics, they want this movie to be good so bad that they just have blinders on and they've decided that it's good. And 6 months from now, everyone will be looking back like, yeah, that movie kind of sucked. That's my assumption. Wonder Woman is like almost this sacred cow that they would feel guilty about admitting the movie isn't that great. Which is a shame. The action scenes are a bit of a mixed bag. Whenever it's clearly done with a stunt double, or maybe Gal Gadot does some of the stunts. She has some military training, I believe. Like, that stuff all works really well. But there's some stuff that's clearly CGI, and it's super off-putting. It's almost like they didn't use mocap or anything like that. They just made a complete 3D sculpt and they went with it, but it doesn't move like a human. It's off. It's just odd. I mean, it's not as bad as what I'm thinking. In my mind, I'm comparing it to like Agent Smith versus Neo in the second Matrix movie. Like, obviously it's not that bad, but like through the lens of time, I have no concept of what that scene in the Matrix actually looked like in reality. But that's what I was thinking when I was watching Wonder Woman. Like, there's some really jerky, unorganic body movement that happens in the CGI scenes that's not just like, oh, it's superhuman. It's just that's not how the body moves. It's kind of rubbery, and I don't know, it just didn't work. And they do this stupid, like, there's this stupid spinny 180 half turn jump thing they fucking do like a million times in this movie, and it looks stupid every fucking time they do it. But they did it a lot, so I guess they were proud of it. It looks dumb. Super dumb. The CGI, I don't know what is up with DC after Batman and Superman as well, with the Doomsday CGI fish monster. They're just not on Marvel's level with the CGI, which is, you would think that Warner Brothers would have been able to deliver something acceptable. I mean, it's not the worst I've ever seen, but they have a goal in sight. I imagine they want to compete with Marvel. They want to surely they want to prove they're better than Marvel. So Marvel set the standard. Don't come in under it, guys. Try to go above it. Yeah, awkward. Anything else to say about the movie? It ends in a weird spot based on where Wonder Woman was at the beginning of Batman and Superman. She's supposed to have lost her faith in humanity. We're led to believe that like she participated in World War I, and then she sat out of everything from World War I until present time. That's not where this movie ends. At the end of the movie, she believes in mankind. She has faith in humanity. She knows that they can do bad, and it's not all because of Ares, but she believes that they have the capacity for great good as well. And that's where the movie ends. And it's like, well, that's not where she was at the beginning of that last movie, guys. So this story presumably was to get her from point A to point B, and we know where point B was, and that's not where they ended up. odd. Yeah, so I don't know. In a lot of ways, this movie's kind of like an amalgam of Thor, the first Thor movie, and Captain America: The First Avenger. It has that, fish out of water, God amongst men for the first time element that Thor had, and it has the love angle with, Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor. Although it does that much better than Thor did. Like, I don't know what was going on in those Thor movies that Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman couldn't pretend that they had any interest in boning each other, because they had no chemistry, and it makes no sense because they're both smoke shows. Like, you guys can't pretend that you're attracted to each other. How hard is that to do? But I digress. And then obviously it has the pulpy war elements that Captain America: The First Avenger had. Except for this one is set in World War One as opposed to World War II, but more or less the same. But yeah, the pacing issues of the movie are the worst thing. Near the end of the movie, I was like, I can't fucking believe this movie didn't end half an hour ago. I was exhausted. I wanted to go home so bad. I mean, I did go to a late show. I went to a 10:45 show. The movie didn't get out till 1:45. I'm sure there's a ton of previews, but still, this movie's, I don't know what the runtime is. I didn't bother to check, but it's got to be close to 2.5 hours. And you could easily cut 45 minutes out of this movie, and it would be stronger for it. All the side characters they pick up, her shitty Howling Commandos wannabes, they're terrible. Get all of them out of the movie. They serve no purpose. None of them have any character arcs. I don't know what to tell you. Check it out, maybe. See it for yourself. I would not recommend seeing it in movie theaters. I don't think it's worth the price of admission. Maybe wait till it comes out on Redbox or DVD or something, but I don't know. Wasn't for me. Was not for me. Sorry to say. Peace.